All right, Rock Addicts. This is DJ REM from Rock Addict Radio, and I have the Commander-in-Chief on the line, and I'm very, very happy to have you online. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. A bit exhausted. I've been like stuck in traffic and stuff, but I made it for the interview, so I'm happy.
Yep. Well, first off, I want to thank Elizabeth for getting us together and hooking this up, and I want to thank you, obviously, for taking the time to talk, so thank you.
Well, thank you very much for the interview. Definitely. Thanks.
So let's go ahead and start, and let me know what's going on with you. A little birdie told me that there's something going on with this, I don't know, some magazine called Revolver Magazine. What's going on?
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're right. I'm going to be featured in the next issue that's out July. I'm going to be in the hottest chicks of metal. So, yeah, that's going to be fun. So, yeah, that's coming out now, and that's going to be my first press attention over in the US. So that's definitely really cool.
That's amazing. How did you land that?
Well, basically what happened was that when I put out my cover of Paranoid last year, Revolver wrote about it on their website, on their blog online, and their editor started following me. So after the EP came out, he contacted my manager and asked for a photo shoot and for an interview, and that's how it that's how it happened.
That's very cool. I'm sure after he heard the EP, he's like, wow. So
maybe, probably, it was, I don't know, it was a cool interview, very cool interview, very serious about my guitar playing and my songwriting and my singing, it was all about the music, so it was pretty cool, yeah.
That's nice, yeah, because I don't even remember how I came across your music. It just, one of them things that just kind of, probably by accident one day, and I listened and I was like, holy cow, this is good stuff, and then, I think I must have emailed Elizabeth or something, and she sent me some tracks to play, and I've been playing you on my show, like, ever since.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Well, thank you very much. I think it's cool when people hear the songs and, they like it and get back to us. It's really cool.
Yeah, and I've had a lot of great feedback on my show about your stuff. I get a lot of bands that actually tune in and join the chat and such, and everybody is like, this is really good. So.
Well, thank you for promoting it then. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's what I do. I find a band or a group or a singer or whatever that I think is good, and then I play them. So, and that's on my show. That's all I do is I play unsigned bands, indie bands, just bands that are out there, artists that are trying to get themselves heard. That's what I do. So.
Yeah, that's really great. That's a good thing, because it's difficult, for unsigned artists to get out there.
Yeah, the industry's a little tough these days. So.
Yeah, that's right.
So, how long have you been doing this?
Well, I started out playing guitar in 2005, and in 2008 I started a MySpace page, and then I spent time, working on artist development, like taking guitar lessons and singing. I started singing in 2008, and I didn't really get like really serious about it until 2009. So it's something I yeah, that's I picked up the guitar for the first time and wrote my first song in 2005, and I've been working on it.
That's very cool. So what at what point in your life did you decide, hey, this is something I want to do? I mean, what was that driving force to start all this?
Well, that's an interesting question because I've been basically, I've always been creating though. I've always been like writing. I've always been, painting and stuff. So I got a bit tired of drawing, and I wanted to write songs because I always had ideas for songs and melodies and stuff, but I didn't know how to play an instrument. So I basically just switched like artistic medium, I guess you can say, and decided to use music for my creativity instead of visual arts. So that was, basically it.
Very nice. And while we're talking, we should probably mention your. Obviously, I noticed that there's some other people that help you in the band and things. Who are they, and what are their spots?
Well, basically, I have a drummer called Hans who, he's like a hired gun, pretty much. I mean, he's a session musician, but he's been working with me, and he's been working with me now since when? Since for a very long time, actually, since every day since 2009. So he is. I guess his role is that the two of us have very different, like musical backgrounds and stuff. So I'm the songwriter, right? And he don't write anything, but he will put down the drums, and then I will get inspired by the things that he play on the drums. You know what I mean? So he is definitely a very cool person to work with. You know. And then I have my manager, who is a classically trained opera singer, so she gives me vocal lessons. And then you also have that's daily, and then you also have my guitar mentor, which is Ramon Ortiz. And I was introduced to him when I was in LA by a friend of Elizabeth and Hans. And he has been giving me guitar lessons, you know, on, he's a 7-string guitarist, you know, just like I am. And I started with that in 2010. So, yeah.
Hey, well, thanks for sharing that. I appreciate that.
Cool.
So, what kind of musical influences did you have growing up, and you know, just what kind of music do you listen to?
I listen to everything from like Slayer to Jefferson Airplane. You know, I listen to absolutely everything. So yeah, my music taste and the inspiration that I have, you know, from different music genres is everything from like movie soundtracks to classical music to punk bands to Norwegian black metal. You know, to everything really. So yeah, it's a very very interesting question. I could sit there forever and talk about that.
Right, right. What drove you to cover Paranoid? What made you do that?
Well, basically, that was a suggestion from my manager. She was like, "Well, you should try to do a cover or something," and we were looking at different tracks, you know, and I don't know. I thought that, you know, it was a cool idea to try to do something with Paranoid. You know, I think I have a great respect for songwriters. You know, I mean, you can do your own interpretation. I think, you know, someone else's work, and that was what I tried to do. You know, I wanted it to sound like me. So yeah, you know, I thought that was pretty cool, you know, thing to do, and I like, you know, what came out of it.
Yeah, and I'll agree. You took that song and kind of put your own twist on it, and it sounds amazing. So.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I think that, you know, it seemed to me like the majority of people like it. Those people who are a bit skeptical, it's usually because, you know, they're conservative and it's Black Sabbath and they don't like a new twist to it. But the majority of feedback I get from it is that people really like it because I took it in a new direction, you know.
Yeah, you know, when you're into music and if you're actually a true fan or a true artist, you have to be open to new things. Otherwise, it just gets boring, you know?
I agree with you. Yeah, right.
So what kind of sacrifices have you had to make personally to carry out this project and keep this going?
Oh, wow, that's a personal question, but I mean, I think that it has been interesting. I think my manager has been very die-hard. You know, she has been definitely promoting this extensively. You know, and at a certain point, she even sold her own like jewels and stuff. You know, to like jewelry. That's what you call it. Sorry. You know, to put money into it. You know, so she is definitely a problem solver, and she's been, you know, working her ass off. You know, to get money into the project and to, you know, keep moving forward all the time.
Right. Yep. Very cool. And okay, I'm sure you've been asked this question 1,000 times, but how did you come up with the name Commander in Chief?
You know, I haven't been asked it for ages now, so it was kind of cool you actually asked me. Well, I was looking for an artist name that was really like badass. You know, I wanted to have something that sounded really massive, and I wanted to have something that sounded really like, you know, you have these artists like, you know, like Emperor, you know, and like these artist names that are really big sounding, and I wanted to have something like that. But as far as the Commander in Chief is concerned, that was a bit of a coincidence because I happen to live in Chicago, right when the election was, you know, going on. There was Commander in Chief here, Commander in Chief there. You know, it was being branded in the media constantly. You know, right. So that's where I got, you know, the Commander in Chief from. You know, I don't think I would ever come up with that artist name if I haven't been living in the States at that particular time. But I knew that I wanted a badass artist name. But, you know, the inspiration for it had to do with location more than anything.
That's cool. And I tell you, once you hear it, you don't forget that name, if you know what I mean.
That's the thing too. I mean, over here in Europe, you know, I don't think people are not that common with it. But over in the States, obviously, you know, the Commander in Chief is an artist name that has been branded and branded and branded forever. You know, so people hear it, they will remember it, and that's a really good thing. So no, I was really the second that I came up with that name. You know, I literally ran. I was living in this tall, like what do you call it, skyscraper, like you know, high rise. There you go. Right. Been too long in Europe now. High rise. Living in this Chicago high rise. You know, like 36th floor, like gigantic building, and I was just like running up the stairs because I had to go on MySpace and check if anybody else had that artist name. And there was nobody else calling themselves that, and I was a bit puzzled by it because I thought really no one else is using it, but nobody was, so I took it, and I've been using it since, and it's mine.
Good deal. It's very fitting. So this current EP that you just recently released, where did you record that at?
That was recorded here in the UK. It was recorded up in the Yorkshire area in a place called Castleford. A very small place. I was in the studio all the time, so I didn't really do any sightseeing, to be honest. But there was like a cute studio up there. It was really good equipment and stuff. So Sterling was very happy with it. Yeah, I personally spent like 10 days or something, to finish up on the stuff I had to do. And yeah, so it was a good experience. I thought that everything went really well.
Nice. So this it seems like things are going pretty well for you right now. What are your goals and dreams here? Where do you hope to be in a couple years with this?
Hey, I want to have like, platinum records and the whole everything.
Right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it would be cool, obviously, I mean, to go on tour and, warm up for, big bands, and to get, the music out there, to as many people as possible, and keep on doing this and get to record, a proper album, because I have a lot of material, lots of songs, and it makes me really happy, when I get something recorded and I can tell that, okay, this song is done. So I don't know, you have a lot of musicians who don't like the whole studio thing, but I think it's a lot of fun to be in a recording studio and to put all the things down and to organize the songs, to arrange the songs, to get it out of the way in many ways, and to then move on to something else. So yeah, I really like to record, and I would like to record with other artists, write music for other artists, and just write and write. Really, that's what I think is fun.
Good. And it seems like I read there's a big festival coming up that you're going to be participating with, right?
That is right. I'm going to be playing Bloodstock. I'm going to play the Sophie Lancaster stage, and that's August the 10th. So that's coming up pretty soon now, and I'm really excited about it. So it's that's going to be really cool. That's going to be the biggest live thing that I've done so far. So it's exciting, definitely.
Yeah. Well, I wish you best of luck with that as well.
Oh, thank you.
So what kind of social network sites can people go to find out more about you, to buy the EP? Where can they find you?
They should go on thecommanderinchief.net, which is my website, and they should go to the Commander in Chief Music, which is my Facebook, Commander Music, which is my Twitter, and the Commander in Chief 1 on YouTube, and subscribe to my films and stuff, so subscribe to my channel, I mean. So, yes, I definitely want people to do that.
Okay, very good. And just so you know, in the next couple of days, I will have this interview uploaded to YouTube, and I'll send you guys the link so you can spread it. But,
that's great. That's great. That's awesome. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I found with YouTube that usually gets the most audience, so that's how I've started.
Yeah, that's what I figured out as well. That's yeah.
And
yeah.
No, I'm here. I was listening. So
cool.
if I grabbed your iPod or your MP3 player, however you listen to music, what would I find you listening to right now?
You would always find me listening to Randy Rhoads, and you always find me listening to some movie soundtrack. You find a lot of weird stuff on there. You will be very surprised.
There's nothing wrong with that. I find when I find artists that I actually really enjoy, I find that they typically have extremely wide and eccentric music taste. So I can appreciate that.
Oh, cool! Yeah, you should definitely. I should send you an iPod then, so you can check it out.
Well, I find that musicians that have wide varieties of taste, it seems to come out in their music, and they make better music. That's just been my experience.
Hey, that's really cool. I hope. Yeah, that's probably right. That's awesome then, because as I said, I listen to let me see, like I have Fleetwood Mac, but I also listen to Deep Purple, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I listen to a lot of different stuff, and it's cool, music is art.
Right.
And I think people should be open-minded, always.
Yeah, so do I. I talk to a lot of bands in Europe, and a lot of them always tell me they listen to jazz. And
Really?
I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
Nah, I'm not a big jazz fan. I'm not. But there is a band called the Headless Torso, something that I heard some time ago, and they're pretty cool, pretty awesome stuff.
Yeah. So what do you do when you're not practicing and doing this music thing? What do you do to relax, just to unwind?
I meditate. I figure, I don't know. I go out, I enjoy the British weather.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, okay, obviously, there's a lot of artists out there, a lot of bands out there trying to make something of themselves. What do you think sets you apart from a lot of these other bands and artists, and why people should listen to you?
Well, where do I start? Well, first of all, I'm a female solo artist, playing a 7-string guitar, shredding the crap out of my guitar and playing all these rhythm guitar riffs that are really advanced. I have a 4-octave vocal range. I can hit notes so high that glass will shatter and dogs will wonder what happened. I write songs that are catchy and cool, which people will remember. And I can make people headbang, I can make people cry, I can make people happy. So, yeah, those are good reasons for checking me out. And I'm one person doing it all, I'm a solo artist.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was self-promotion right there, man.
That's the whole point of it. That's the whole point.
Yep.
I'd love to see you shatter glass, by the way.
Me too, yes. Yeah, definitely. I should definitely practice that, because it's just about getting the right frequency and the note to keep that wave going. So I would like to do that. It would be a cool stage show.
Make that part of your show, definitely.
Yeah.
So, what's the craziest thing that's ever happened when you've done a live show?
Hey, that's a good question. I do have some interesting fans, some strange behavior, but I'm scared of talking about it because, people might get upset with me. I had some, there was this individual online, that was writing all kinds of, things about me, and then at a certain point we actually blocked that person, and he got really upset, and started threatening with all kinds of things. So I don't really want to talk about, people acting weird or anything, because they might get pissed off with me, and come after me.
Don't need any crazy fans, that's for sure.
Yep. It's all right.
Yeah. I saw one post that you had made about it. Sounded like you were getting some stalkers on there. So.
Yeah, well, it's actually true. It was January, was it? Yeah, January, or it was right after I came from the studio after recording this EP, and in the middle of the night, I saw this guy that was standing outside of my house, staring into the house, in the middle of the night. It was pretty weird.
Yeah, that's kind of creepy for sure.
Yeah, that is kind of creepy. I called the cops, and I was kind of help, there is this weird person standing there. But yeah, it disappeared, and then eventually, I had the cops coming down here, and spoke with them and whatever, and it hasn't happened again.
Well, I hope that doesn't. Hopefully your fans can appreciate the music and not go weird on you, That's exactly what I'm hoping for too. Yeah. So there's one of the questions I always ask artists, and this will be a little tougher to ask you because you're kind of the you're like the front of the show, but so I'm gonna twist it a little bit. So how long do you spend in front of a mirror getting ready for a show?
Well, that's an interesting question. I mean, do you mean practicing or do you mean putting on makeup?
No, I just mean getting ready. Usually I ask this of a band because I'll usually have 4 or 5 people, and then they start fighting and telling on each other, and it gets kind of funny. So.
Oh, okay. Well, as far as getting ready before I go on a show, I don't really spend that much time, do I? I mean, it's no, I don't really spend much time. I guess I spend just half an hour or something to make myself ready. Right. And then I go out there, and I do my thing. As far as practicing in front of a mirror, that's something I never do really. So, no, I guess the guys probably spend much more time in front of the mirror than me,
They probably do, and I ask this with male bands, and there'll always be one guy that'll be like, oh yeah, Jose stands in front of the mirror for an hour because he has to be pretty, something crazy.
Funny. Well, no.
Okay. Well, I had to ask. It's that crazy question I have to throw out there. So,
no, it's fun,
So, anything else you would like to tell the world? Everybody's going to listen to this interview about the Commander-in-Chief. What haven't I talked about that you want to make sure people know?
I have a lot of gigs coming up in the UK now, but I mean, you're in the US, but still, I have gigs coming up here, and obviously I want people to come out and check it out. I want people to buy my t-shirt, I want people to get the EP. They can get it on my website, thecommanderinchief.net, and just follow me on all the social networks that you have out there, and spread the word, check out the music, buy it, tell people about it.
Right. I personally bought the EP on iTunes, and I even left a little mini review, you could say.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's really cool. Yeah, thank you.
So, okay, well, I really appreciate you taking the time to get together and talk. It's been we've tried a couple times and we finally made it work. So I'm very happy that it all worked out finally.
Yeah, me too, me too. You know, I'm sorry about coming late and stuff, but no, that was cool. You know, I always appreciate interviews. You know, getting exposure and talking about my music and stuff. You know, it's a lot of fun. So yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. Thank you.
So okay, I have one last thing to ask though. I'd love
Yeah?
to ask artists to make radio tags that I can play before I play their music. So would you mind doing that?
No, I don't mind. Just remind me quickly of what you want me to say.
Okay, so the first one, if you can say, you know, hey, this is the Commander-in-Chief, and
Yeah?
you're listening to rockaddictradio.com.
Rock Addict Radio.
Yep, and I'm ready whenever you're to start.
Okay, Rock Addict Radio. Okay, I'm ready now.
Okay.
This is the Commander-in-Chief, and you're listening to Rock Addict Radio.
Very good. And then one more, and the next,
Yep.
in this next one, this is, you know, this one's for me, where you can say, you know, this is the Commander-in-Chief, and you're listening to DJ REM at Rock Addict Radio.
Yes. That's right. I'm ready now.
Okay.
This is the Commander-in-Chief, and you're listening to DJ REM at Rock Addict Radio.
Very cool. I appreciate it a lot. I will, whenever I play your tunes, I'll be playing those intros, and I'll also, the generic one for the station, I'll send to the other DJs. So do you mind if I, because I have the EP, do you mind if I share the tunes with the other DJs so they can play it on their show?
Oh, I think that's cool. Yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome. All right, then.
I don't always assume. I always make sure it's okay with the artist, so.
Yeah, I say it's okay. You get the green light from me. Yeah.
Okay, very cool.
All right, then.
Okay, well, thanks again for talking to me, and you have a great evening.
Same to you, and thank you very much for the interview. You know, I enjoyed it. It was cool.
Yep, you're welcome. Thank you. You take
Right, cool then. Bye-bye. Bye, take care.